All right. For some reason, it's been on my heart to make a video about dyslexia. so, my son has dyslexia, and I have dyslexia, and really didn't know it until later on in life. So, there may be people out there that are dealing with it, and I think this video is going to be more directed towards parents than adults, because when you are an adult, um, you learn ways to cope with it. And in some ways, I'm not going to say it's too late to get help. That's not true. But you have gotten your own help. You have figured it out how to work around it um, already. Okay. First of all, for parents, um, here is a little bit of how the dyslexia brain works. It's mainly the long term memory, rejecting words, letters, certain words even more than others. I like to say that our mind works in 3D. I like to say that we were given an extra dose of common sense in some ways, and our mind just simply doesn't want to memorize certain things pertaining to words and letters. Um, Now, of course, there's going to be some things we are going to learn, like how to spell our name, right? Well, why? Because we use that all the time. So, of course, the more you use something, the more it's going to be likely to be accepted by your long-term memory. Okay. So, what am I talking about with an extra dose of common sense? This is a stapler. Okay. I've turned it this way. Has it turned into a calculator? No, it hasn't. Let me turn it this way. Is it now a pair of scissors? No, it's not. Okay, so that's what our mind is doing. It's saying you can't take a B, turn it around and make it a D, flip it over and make it a P. You know, that's the same thing. And so, for some reason, our mind, a lot of times, if I misspell a word, I am substituting B for P all the time. It seems like I'm doing that. I'll look at it and I'll say, oh my gosh, that doesn't say crab, it says crap. you know, so what can you do about that? Well, there's a few things. The more senses that you use, the more senses that you engage when you're teaching a child that has dyslexia, the more likely they are to take that into their long-term memory. The other thing is to learn the rules, because there's a lot of things that we can't memorize. Knowing the rules helps a little bit. So, what is the most popular one? I can't even remember it right now. I before E except after C, that type of rule. That helps, since we're not going to memorize it and we have to, go through how to spell it each time. And I don't want to say that we're never going to memorize things. As a matter of fact, this is one of the frustrating things about dyslexia is some days it can be worse than others. Okay, so some days you may get up that day and man, you can't even remember how to spell of. Of. And then there'll be other days where you can read and write with the best of them, which makes it very frustrating for a parent, because you'll have teachers send home notes that your child is not trying, because yesterday they could spell all these words, but today they can't. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So, that's one of the things that goes with it. Now, the other thing is that you have to have average to high IQ to be dyslexic. It's actually part of the criteria. And so these are not, these are children that reading and writing is really hard, but they can get really good at not doing it. Okay. So when you sit your child down to study their vocabulary words, they're going to know how to distract you. They're going to know how to sidetrack you. They're going to know how to get you off guard. And so you, as a parent, have to be very disciplined that we are going to sit down and we're going to read this book today. And if it takes us 2 hours to read 2 pages, then that's what it does. Um, and so, that's just the other thing to remember. And a lot of times, someone with dyslexia can actually be mistaken for being smarter than the average person because they are so good at, you know, you build up one sense if another one doesn't work right. Isn't that the way the old saying goes? And so you just become really good at speaking and talking and doing that kind of thing. I'm probably not demonstrating that right now, but okay. So back to the multisensory learning. I think that is something that is a really big deal that um, helped Albert. Even today, he says he remembers. So we had a board. It was a dry erase board, and we called it our memory board. It's bigger than this one. I can't find the original one. Um, and on one side, you write the spelling word in cursive. That's the other thing. Cursive helps the dyslexic mind remember words better. And there's lots of theories for that. It connects the word together. Um, it's a B and a D actually looks a little different. I mean, more different in cursive than it does in print. So let's say bed. Okay. So you get them to write down bed. That probably looks weird on here. It's maybe flip flopped. And you get them just to write it over and over again, not in a straight line, but over itself, over and over again. And they're saying it B-E-D, each time that they're doing it, right? And then after that, you're going to switch to another color. Same thing, over the same thing. So at the end, you have this big rainbow um, of the word that you're just writing over and over again. And then you flip it over to the other side and you do it with your finger. Okay? And you do that, 10 times over and over again. What that's doing is it's involving the sense of touch. Okay? So you just do that over. You could even do it in the carpet, whatever, as long you want, as long as there's something that they feel. So that's one thing that you can do. Man, we used our memory board a lot. By the way, I didn't make this up. I went to a place, it's called Sheldon. Sheldon? I think it's what's called. Anyway, it's a school that is just for people that have dyslexia, ADD, and other, learning disabilities. I hate the word disabilities. I've heard a lot of people say learning difference. I like that better. And I couldn't afford school, but I could afford their summer program. And with their summer program, though, they gave me a 50% discount if I became one of their tutors. And I thought, you're kidding me. You're going to train me how to help my son and you're going to give me a discount? So this was one of their big things, was the memory board. And some things to remember is dyslexia can be a gift. I mean, it can be. If you think about it, your child before the age of 7, because it starts right away. I mean, when you get into kindergarten and maybe even before that, and learning the alphabet is hard, but they won't test your child until they're at least in the 3rd grade, because some of the things that people that have dyslexia deal with are part of just normal development. And so you have to wait until your child's in the third grade um, to officially be diagnosed. So during that time, you're just driving yourself crazy trying to help your child learn, um, how to read and write. Take it easy on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself, because there are going to be days where you're going to feel like you're doing something wrong. Like, how can I not? Just a second ago, you got this, and now you don't. All the normal frustrating things. But here's the deal: your child is learning how to work hard at a very young age. Okay. As a matter of fact, something that he or she is going to have to deal with for the rest of their life. They're identifying what that is at a young age, and they are accepting the fact that hard work is just going to be a normal part of their life. And that can be a wonderful gift. The other thing is, you remember earlier how I said our mind just doesn't function the way other people's do? Um, that can be a gift too. You see solutions, you see things in a different way. Um, you know, there's so many people that have had dyslexia that are on that list of people. Einstein, of course, is the first one that pops in my mind. Whoopi Goldberg. Um, Man, I had a while back looked up the list, but there's a lot. So, I mean, it's not um, it's not a curse. In some ways, it can be a gift. Um, and as a parent of someone with dyslexia, you definitely get frustrated with grades, because the grading system does not indicate how hard someone worked. Okay, someone might get a C and actually know the material a lot better than someone who got an A. It's just that the person that got an A is good with academics. They're good with tests. They're good with that kind of thing. But you take a person that made a C who has dyslexia, with the same material, and you try to put that material in practice, they're going to be able to put it in practice. So that's why, if you're a parent with dyslexia, with a child with dyslexia, that is definitely one of the most biggest frustrators, um, because a GPA and a grade, it doesn't identify how good that person knows the material at all. If I had it my way, the whole world would, go to pass fail. You either passed it or you failed it. Because, yeah. But anyway, I don't know why, but for some reason, it's just been on my mind to share that. Um, Tools. Let me talk a little bit about tools. Tools are great, but I think that they should come later. Okay, so what do I mean by tools? Of course, the text to talk, the dictation. I use that on a daily basis. I use dictation, text to talk, and Speechify is great. Speechify will read emails. You can even speed it up to like 1.4 and get through them emails in no time. It's great. Um, and so I think that all of those things are great. With the exception of audiobooks, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and integrate audiobooks early. Maybe even that I'm on the fence, because you are developing and it's going to feel like you're not getting anywhere. That's the other thing too. Um, it will probably be fourth or fifth grade before you start to see all the hard work start to pay off. And don't ask me why, but it's just like all of a sudden, all of the sitting down and writing the vocabulary words and going through the books and all of that stuff, it's not going to seem like it's sinking in year after year after year. And then all of a sudden in fourth grade, you'll start to see it all come together. So don't get discouraged and don't feel like you're wasting your time, because you're not. All of that information is getting in there. It's just not coming up for some reason. It's getting in there and it's getting lost. But then it'll come out later. So don't get discouraged. Just keep fighting the good fight, as the good book says. And yeah, I thought there was one more thing, but I can't remember now. So I just wanted to share those things. I don't know why. It's been on my mind for the last like 2 or 3 days, that maybe there's somebody out there that would benefit for some of the things that Albert and I went through. Um, he's a junior in college now, um, so dyslexia doesn't stop you. You might have to work harder. No, not might. You will. You're gonna have to work harder, um, but that's okay. A little hard work don't hurt. All right. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.